Paul Lane right here on your Classic Metal Show with We Are the Young. That one going on by with voicemail request to Sanita.
So sexy sounding.
Yeah, she does that on purpose. You know that, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. She can do that all she wants. Gives me good spankable material.
Right. As long as she makes me come in my pants, she could do that all she wants.
And she's a little hottie.
Yeah, she is.
I wish she'd be a whore and take some good naked photos and send them along, but she's not volunteering. She's cute, man.
Yep.
She is a little cute one.
Sure. Well, I got a story here that's going to drive you absolutely crazy.
Okay.
It's something, it's one of our favorite subjects.
Teacher fucking a student?
No, that is one of our favorite subjects, but those you don't usually make you outraged.
Right, okay.
Those are more or less one of those guilty pleasures.
Right.
Because usually 9 times out of 10, or maybe even 10 times out of the 10, the teachers are usually hot.
Right.
And which is always surprising.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
I know. It's like, come on. There's a lot of guys your age that will fuck you.
Right. Well, they don't want that. That's not what they're looking for.
Well, they can't dominate that.
True.
That's probably what it is.
It is true. Well, this one has to do with one of our favorite subjects, a lot of what the show is built around.
Okay. Racism?
That or censorship.
Okay. Excellent.
The whole, you said something I don't agree with, so you shouldn't be allowed to say it.
Yeah, I'm going to get you pulled off the air.
Well, more or less, that's what this story boils down to.
Okay, great.
Now, I know that the TV show Duck Dynasty is a popular show.
Okay.
I've never watched it.
I never have either.
I know of it. I know who the characters are if I see them.
Yeah, don't know their names.
I don't know their names, but
something, right?
Yeah, if I see them as a group on a commercial or something, I know that they're the Duck Dynasty guys.
I cannot fathom watching a TV show about guys that make duck collars or something.
Well, what's amazing is that they're so wealthy.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part that gets me, is that they built this business out of duck calls.
That's what they do, though, right? Those whistles?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they make duck calls. You know.
Right.
But I think they've branched their business into hunting gear and other things, you know.
Had to do something.
Yeah, but just the fact that they've become very wealthy from their handicraft, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I never knew that duck hunting in general was so popular.
Well, that I did know.
I attended I'll tell you a quick story. This was back in the 80s.
Okay. I
attended because I was asked, not that I had any genuine interest in it, but I was asked to attend a Ducks Unlimited dinner.
Okay.
Do you know what Ducks Unlimited is?
I have no idea.
Ducks Unlimited is a organization that they raise money to preserve natural habitats for ducks.
Okay.
And, you know, they thrive in like the swamplands and whatnot.
Right.
And this Ducks Unlimited, what they do is that they make sure that the preservation of the natural habitat for ducks is preserved, and then the way the duck population continues to populate, and then of course then they have enough to hunt.
Right. Okay.
So they preserve the natural habitat for the ducks, so they procreate, so they can blow them away.
Nice. That's funny.
So it's kind of a conservation type thing.
Sure. You want to know why I know the duck hunting is famous?
How's that?
Is big? Because the most famous duck dog trainer is
Chris Aiken.
Chris Aiken, the guy that's more famous than me. He's the more famous Chris Aiken than me.
Isn't there a guy, Don Dokken?
There is a Don Dokken too, yeah.
Yeah, he does duck hunting, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy drives me crazy because I get alerts, the Google alerts.
Sure.
And half the time it's about him and his fucking duck hunting.
Right, exactly.
It's like, God damn it, spell your name different than mine, you fuck.
Sure.
Do something.
Right. Well, again, I don't know a whole lot about the show. I know it's one of those stupid reality shows that's not really reality. I don't even know why they call it a reality show when everything is scripted.
Exactly.
It's just stupid. I mean,
it is.
But whatever. Anyway, apparently Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty has made some comments, and it's drawn the ire of one of these lib women.
Oh boy! All right,
because he's so archaic in his viewpoint.
You're gonna suck me into screaming and yelling, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I told you this one is gonna. I gave you forewarning.
All right, go ahead.
Duck Dynasty's Phil Robertson's comments about today's women are so backward.
Okay.
Backward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I read a headline like that, I got to wonder, well, they're backward compared to what?
Yeah. I mean, are you about to read that he said that they should be clubbed in the head and dragged to the cave?
Well,
that would be backward.
Okay. Duck Dynasty's Phil Robertson is at it again with his inappropriate remarks.
Oh boy.
This time about women.
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
To who? Not to me.
Again, that's my point. What is the standard?
Yeah. Well, again, I haven't heard the comment yet, so I'll have to see. Maybe it is inappropriate to me.
What started out as an innocent battle of the sexes on the latest episode of Duck Dynasty turned into an opportunity to Phil Robertson to make another offensive.
Here it comes, those words.
Well, again, if you're a Duck Dynasty fan and you watch the TV show, you probably expect this.
Yeah.
You don't watch a TV show that ticks you off.
Right.
Normally, you don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my thought. Who in their right mind is offended by a guy that makes duck calling noises?
Yeah, and has a TV show that isn't even real.
Yeah, who cares?
It's a TV show.
I mean, is this guy the fucking president or something? Who gives a fuck what he says?
Right. Well, this will all play into the point that I'm going to make a little bit later if you don't make it for me.
Okay.
So he made another offensive claim.
Okay.
The Dynasty wives entered a friendly competition with their husbands, but apparently didn't live up to Phil's frog hunting expectations.
Frog hunting?
Frog hunting. They apparently were out in the woods or in the swamp hunting frogs.
People watch this?
Apparently they do.
Okay.
I think on the Andy Griffith show that was known as frog gigging.
Frog gigging?
Yeah. We're going to go frog gigging.
Yeah, this is outside of my area of expertise.
Well, again, this is for the hee-haw generation,
right.
Country boy crowd that enjoys that kind of thing.
Right.
Thank God I'm a country boy.
Hell yeah, I'm going frog hunting.
Yeah.
Frog gigging.
And he let everyone know how disappointed he was
about the girls frog hunting.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay,
they didn't live up to his expectation, whatever that expectation was.
All right.
These subdivision girls, that's what he refers to them as, subdivision girls.
The Phil guy does?
Yes.
Okay.
They aren't country girls. Seems to be the way America is going these days, Phil said, as a way to show his disapproval for their behavior on the lake. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if he thinks offending people is what A&E is paying him for.
Wait a minute, that was the offensive
comment?
That
was the offensive comment.
That they're, what, too city-fied?
More or less. But how many TV shows over the decades have you said, oh, you're a city folk?
Yeah, how is that offensive in any stretch of the imagination?
Well, I'm going to give you my viewpoint on it. Not that I know this to be fact, but this is what I gather.
A hillbilly that doesn't want to be married or dealing with fucking city.
More or less.
That is somehow offensive.
Well, what I'm going to gather from that comment alone, just from what this person says about being offensive, these women are not capable of anything a man can do, more or less.
He didn't say that.
I know he didn't say that, but that's how I'm interpreting the person who's writing this article.
Oh,
that they're worthless women.
So in other words, it's just another one of these fucking scumbag witch hunts against guys.
More or less.
All right.
In other words, these women are worthless.
Yeah, which is not what he said, but
that's
okay.
not what he said, but that's what I'm interpreting from this comment.
Okay.
Phil didn't exactly explain what he meant by his subdivision comment, but it's clear it wasn't meant as a compliment.
So?
He wasn't saying they were outstanding businesswomen,
So what?
supportive mothers, or adoring wives.
At what point do you have to fucking kiss everybody's ass before you fucking give them a negative piece of criticism? Maybe he says that they're fucking nice people when they're not on camera, you fucking twat. This is obviously a twat that wrote this.
Well,
right?
I told you it was.
Yeah. Fuck you, you stupid whore. Fucking, who cares? He's allowed to be disappointed with something his fucking wife does, you bitch.
Right.
Fuck.
I knew this was going to get you wound up.
Gotta be kidding. I fucking hate, I think I hate liberal women more than liberal guys. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking entitlement that they gotta have their ass kissed all the fucking time makes me want to fucking hit them in the fucking face with a ball bat.
Right. Well, here's the crux of the matter.
All right.
He decided their value as human beings was determined solely by their ability to catch frogs at night.
Okay.
Is that what he decided?
I don't think that is what he decided. But you know what? Even if he did, that's for him to decide. It's his opinion, you fucking cunt.
But see, he's not allowed to have that opinion.
Yes, he is.
No, in today's world, he's not allowed to have that opinion because it goes against what she thinks.
So the gift of pussy is so unbelievably good that he's not allowed to think anything negative about his chick because she's fucking him.
Well, I didn't gather it that far. My point is if you say or do anything that runs counter to a liberal person, like this obviously is written by that.
Right, sure.
You should not have a voice.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But isn't that what we run into, though? You said something I don't like, so you should be pulled off the air, so you can't say it anymore, and so nobody can hear your thoughts because it goes against what I think.
This is just retarded.
I agree.
This is retarded. Absolutely fucking penny liquor retard.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking terrible.
Sure. Of course, he didn't make his condescending comment in front of the women. He waited until they were safely out of his solo interview because that's the best way to make completely absurd comments.
Yeah, because thank God they could not see it on this fucking episode that she's watching or the fucking DVD release of it or the Netflix version of it or anywhere else.
Or
thank God for that.
Or that they're standing off the side stage or out of range of the camera and don't know that that's what's going on.
Yeah, or maybe when he gets home, he says, you know what? You really are a shitty frog hunter.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to say it in front of you, but maybe he says it even worse to her in person.
You never know.
Could be. What the fuck is that picture?
I have no idea.
What What the hell?
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, fellow frog giggers. Where we whistle the Andy Griffith song, except I can't whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice indeed. Well, in the pantheon of stupid Phil Robertsonisms, this ranks pretty low.
Why does explain this to me, Doghouse? Because it appears maybe you know more than I do about this Robertson guy, in which anybody does. Because I really know nothing about it. I can honestly say I've never seen 1 second of the show.
Well,
why do they give him weight? Is he like some religious leader or something?
Yeah, I don't know that he's a religious leader exactly, but lots of dumb Bible bangers kind of look up to him and look to him for quotes and sound bites, and he gives a lot of speeches to church groups and such. Now that he's Mr. Celebrity, you've seen these guys, right? I mean, you don't have to watch the show, but you've seen what they look like.
Yeah, they're long-haired swamp people.
Yeah, they look like redneck caricatures, right?
Right.
If you actually go back into their history before they had a TV show, back when they just had the duck call company, they were pretty straight-laced. They were pretty much country club Republicans,
Right.
But when they get this TV show, well, that's boring. So they grew the big ZZ Top beards, and they started saying off-the-wall stuff and just playing up the whole swamp rat persona.
Because
right?
it's TV. It's got to be interesting.
Yes, exactly. And then part of that is, Phil Robertson, he, not just him, but he's kind of the main one because he's the patriarch of the family. But every once in a while, I guess maybe when ratings are starting to lag, or maybe when there's a lull in the episode and you're bored watching, I don't know, frog legs flopping around in a frying pan like half a baby. He'll say some off-the-wall shit, and it'll be something about gays or something about atheists deserve to go to hell, or some religious crap, or just something non-politically correct.
So is the point that he says things purposely just to rattle other people that fucking worry more about what famous people say than anything else? Is that really what this is?
I don't know that he says it to purposely rattle people, or if he actually believes it, or it's part of the show, or what. But look, the article here, the writer is obviously familiar with him and knows what his history is and what his deal is, right?
Right.
So this is just the latest, and not even the worst as far as it. But she got to write an article.
Well, if you can remember it off the top of your head and don't spend a whole lot of time on it, what's the worst thing that this guy said? I really, or Neeley, you, whoever, what is the worst thing that this guy has said that has people focused on him?
Well, didn't he get suspended from the show for a couple of episodes because of his gay comment or anti-marriage comment or something like that?
Yeah, he did. And to me, the worst thing he said personally was talking about, he was trying to put atheists in their place by saying something like how atheists don't have a value system, they don't have to answer to anybody. So let's say you're an atheist and you got a little atheist wife and 2 little atheist kids, and some guys come into your house and they rape your wife and they beat your kids and they're about to kill you or something, and they say, you know what, I don't have to pay for this. He just makes this scenario. It just makes it really over the top and lurid to make his point. And of course, he's talking to a church group, so nobody challenges him.
Right.
But
and people give this kind of weight and outrage to the duck caller guy that says stupid things.
Well, you know what? The same kind of people who give weight to an interview with Gloria Steinem in a fucking clothes catalog.
Yeah, true. I hear you.
So yeah, see, you can't be pinning all this on old touchy liberals, because this week, fucking Land's End got knocked back on their heels by a couple of church groups and a bunch of Twitter and Facebook complaints because they ran an interview with Gloria Steinem about just women's quest for equality because, oh, she supports abortions.
Yeah, that's horrible. Whatever.
So don't come around me with this, oh, it's always whiny liberals. Fuck all that.
I just think it's fucking whiny people. I think the whole generation is so fucking pathetic right now. I can't stand any of them. Any level.
Well, Chris, you can't, not to harp on it, but, Apple Radio.
I know. No, I know. Did it annoy me? Yeah. I just stopped using it. That's it.
You're not really one to, and you screamed about it on the radio. You're not one to really complain.
Oh, I am one to complain. That's what I do.
No, you're not. You have your little hot buttons that throw you into a spit spraying frenzy.
Yeah, I guess.
It's even jokes about
that one was because I hate. I stand by what I think I said before with that. I hate that I am being forced to accept something that I personally don't believe in. I don't think that anybody should be giving that kind of weight against a
ask what your gender was, and it used a different word to ask what your gender was, and you got pissed off. You got offended.
I didn't get offended,
you did.
I did not get offended. I just personally was. I find it.
You were offended.
I find it silly that people will. I'll make this point again. I find it ridiculous that people are now given an option of saying if they're a guy or a girl. That is fucking stupid, and I don't care what the political correct portion of that is. It's dumb. If you were born with a cock, you're a guy. If you were born with a vag, you're a chick. That's it. Nothing that the fucking courts say is going to change that fact.
Not saying I disagree, but also you can say you were pissed off, and that makes you feel more masculine because saying you were offended is weak and feminine sounding.
No, I'm not saying that at all. But offended would mean that I'm ready to take action. I didn't take any action. I didn't write Apple and say,
you deleted the app,
bastards.
You deleted the app.
I just don't use the app. But that's always the choice.
That's taking action. Something you were going to do, and now you're not.
Not wanting to fucking take a shower with a gay guy. I just choose not to do it, and I don't.
That's action.
Yeah, it's an action.
So you go around and stink for 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I have to.
You can rationalize this all you want, but you're just as touchy and easily offended as anybody.
Well, okay, then I am.
You are.
But I would never say I'm offended. Offended would mean that I have to give it.
Just like I said, the word offended is anathema to you because it sounds weak. It sounds weak and liberal and feminine. But it don't change the fact that you get offended.
But go ahead.
You are.
Okay, we agree to disagree here. I'm not going to cave on this.
Agree to consult the dictionary if you forget me reading the definition of offended to you.
What else are we talking about?
It's fucking delusional that you go through these offended emotional reactions all the time, every week on this show, and yet you refuse to say, you just call it a spade, if you'll pardon the expression, spade.
I don't know.
And
Neeley,
say you were
what's
offended.
your feeling? Are we offended, or are we just annoyed?
Annoyed. I think it's more annoyance than offended.
Yeah. So I think, too, but...
Well, in Neely's case, because he has no feelings, it's probably annoyed. But in Chris's case, where everything is an emotional reaction, it's offended.
Yeah, but I forget everything as quick as I'm annoyed by it. I spout and then I'm done. So I don't know.
There's always something else to get annoyed by.
I don't know. Maybe that's where it is in my head, is the fact that I really don't, carry it longer than the 3 seconds I'm yelling and screaming about it. I would never take the Apple app to dinner with the kids and say, "You're not going to believe what this is, son. You're not going to believe." I spew it for a couple minutes on the show and then I move on.
I hope so.
Well, I hadn't thought about it until you just brought it back up. So I
hope you weren't as Neely likes to characterize it, stomping around the living room, screaming.
No, just the office here.
See, in Neeley's world, being offended means being outraged means you have to stomp around a room and break stuff.
Well, doesn't outrage denote you're just like animated about it?
But does it mean you're stomping around, breaking stuff, and screaming? That's like the extreme version of that reaction.
Well, true, but it's an extreme visual that seems to relate with people, and then you think, man, that's really stupid to even think that.
Right.
It's the absurdity of it. That's the whole idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? You hang around with Chris too much. Not everybody has these emotional reactions.
True, but of course, one of the things that we do here on the show is we play it up to the extreme to make it seem absurd.
Even when it really isn't.
True. That's absolutely true.
Well then, what can you do, really?
It's just entertainment, Doghouse. That's all it is.
It's entertainment until somebody gets shot.
Right. And so far, nobody's been shot.
No. Actually, in the talk radio world, it's all dead serious until someone gets shot, and then it's entertainment.
Right.
Oh, we're just entertainment.
Yeah. Well, we've always claimed to be just entertainment.
Yeah. We tell everybody.
Right.
We were saying it earlier in the show tonight. Don't take what we say as law. Fucking just think. That's why, look, and I'll say it this way. That's why I always, for one, defend you, Doghouse, when everybody's shitting on you on the online and whatever. Because I like the fact that you come on and fucking challenge me and challenge Neeley and challenge.
That's what I do. When you say
like
you just
that.
think, that's why I call in when I do.
Of course.
But it's entertainment to me. I don't get upset over anything that you bring to the table.
Me either.
Otherwise, you'd just be playing a lot of docking.
Right. You're right about that. I'd play it all day long.
Speaking of which, I have a request for later on if you could squeeze it in.
And what would that be?
Chris will appreciate this. I want to hear Still Walk Alone by Evergrey.
Oh, okay. I love Evergrey.
It's good, babe.
Oh. I shall be waiting.
All right.
Right.
Fuck you, pal.
All right. Well, getting back to this article here.
All right.
Of course, he didn't make his condescending comment in front of the women. He waited until he was in the safety of his solo interview because that's the best way to make complete absurd comments.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, none of the women acknowledged or corrected him.
Corrected him.
Yeah. You need to be corrected, pal, because your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't match my opinion.
Exactly.
So these other ladies better correct you.
Yeah. So they did not correct him through Twitter or any other social media platform.
What?
Yeah, social media.
They didn't run to Twitter or Facebook to get things straight?
Exactly.
How could that have happened?
Yeah. So this is a teachable moment, probably passed right by him.
Oh, I hate this lady.
You know, I brought up Doug Stanhope earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And that was one of his things that he said in that, even though, that special or, his no refunds is already 9 years old. Right. Even back then he was saying, this is the most pussy generation. He says, all the older generation, the next generation was the most deviant. And the older generation would complain that they were so extreme and out of control. These kids these days. Sure. He says, well, we're going to be the first generation where we complain in the opposite fashion.
Sure.
These kids these days, these half faggots.
It's true.
He goes, when we were young, we were snorting crank off of a titty dancer. And these kids these days, they prefer to go out on the patio to take a smoke, and they drink Red Bull for some pep. Bunch of faggots.
So true. Dude, I've thought that for the last 15 years, even about the music. We are the first generation whose music was heavier than our kids' generation.
Yeah. So isn't that weird to think that you know, in 30 years or more, if you're around that long, if you end up in a nursing home, you're going to be rocking out to Slayer.
It's funny.
Or even something even older like Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Play me some Zeppelin.
That's probably what the people in the nursing home today are.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the Zeppelin people.
Yeah, sure. But that's just funny. But he made a good point with that.
Right.
These half faggots.
Yeah, they are. I'd say more than half.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean half of them. I mean, he calls them half faggots. Like,
oh, I know. I would say more than half. And I don't mean the numbers.
They're
half.
three-quarter faggot.
Yeah, I'm saying pretty much faggotified.
Yeah, no kidding. I know that he's from an older generation and probably not interested in expanding his mind.
Right.
To consider the feelings of people other than fellow straight men. Fellow straight men.
Straight men.
So basically, by saying that, you know, he wants his women to be a little more aggressive or tough or whatever, that's only a straight man's thought.
Right. Okay.
But it seems like A&E could take some accountability here and get this. This is the part this is the reason I even brought this story to the show.
All right.
Edit out these offensive comments.
Fuck you, you stupid fucking cunt.
Edit them out.
Yeah, because God help him for having a thought that's not politically correct.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So basically this person, this writer, she's advocating censorship.
Yeah.
Boy, what a free thinker she is.
And she's using that free speech that she has to say that this guy shouldn't have free speech.
Yeah.
What a stupid...
You have an opinion that doesn't agree with the way that I think, so you should be edited.
Why are people afraid of what people say?
Because the idea there is if you're of a person of any kind of popularity, which obviously this Duck Dynasty is, you're spreading your poison to other people's minds, and you're poisoning the minds of your listeners and your watchers, and we got to stomp this out.
Really?
That's more or less the idea.
You know where that works? Venezuela.
Right.
Fucking Cuba. North Korea. They've stomped it out pretty good in North Korea.
Right.
You don't say anything that's offensive to the leader. And if you do, you die. So that's what you're advocating for.
Yeah.
You stupid bitch.
Yeah, so again, to read that sentence again, which is what caught my eye, you know, A&E could take some accountability here and edit out these offensive comments. Edit them out.
No. They're taking accountability by letting an opposing view be heard.
Right.
Even if it's a stupid view. And I don't... Again, we're getting all fucking annoyed about fucking duck or frog hunting. So, who cares? But this lady should shut the fuck up.
Right.
I guess she's got to do something to make her $35 for her article, but... Jesus Christ, enough.
Right.
What publication is this in?
This was in a female publication. I'm assuming this is a female publication called She Knows.
She Knows?
She Knows.
Yeah, $35 to $50 for an article. At most. She's got to do something to make her fucking shit money.
Right. It seems like the show's producers would understand the difference between funny and sexist.
All right, Doghouse, I'm officially getting outraged.
But if tonight's episode is any indication, that's a very wrong assumption.
So don't watch the fucking show.
Well, again, that's what I said in the beginning, that if you watch Duck Dynasty and you're a fan, you probably expect that kind of commentary.
All right, here, let's play a game. I know you as Neeley.
Yes.
like to get in there on Netflix or Amazon Prime and fucking fiddle around until you find something that you haven't watched. And a lot of times you will randomly click on something because the trailer picture looks good, or you might have heard somebody else maybe mention it in passing or something. Correct?
Or the description sounds fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't only watch things that you know.
No, absolutely not.
You go out of your way to find shit that you don't know.
Right.
Fair?
True.
So now you start watching something and it stinks. You know, for whatever reason. It's a fucking crummy movie or whatever.
Right.
Do you keep watching it?
No, I just shut it off and go to the next thing.
You mean you don't open up your fucking computer and go to Rotten Tomatoes and write about how bad it was?
I get on Twitter right away. Don't watch this fucking movie. It was offensive to me.
Yeah.
This
movie didn't feature my ideology.
Yeah, Netflix should pull that movie because it just wasn't good.
Yeah, didn't fit my criteria of what good is.
Right.
This is the exact same thing.
I know. Believe me, I know.
Oh, this fucking idiot.
I know, but see, this unfortunately is the way things are going, and I'll agree with Doghouse. I don't care if it's on the right or the left.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have an opinion that runs counter to what I think.
Yeah. The problem is once you start giving up that freedom, who's gonna overtake it? Who's gonna grab it? The fucking leadership. Once you start giving up your freedom of speech, you're not going to get it back. It's like everything else. You give up smoking anywhere, and now you can't smoke anywhere. You know, same fucking concept. You start giving up freedom of speech, believe me, you're going to start doing jail time when you fucking rattle the chain with something that the government doesn't find to be fucking good enough. They're already trying to do that shit with hate crimes. You know, blasting something as a quote-unquote hate crime. Speech. Blasting speech as a hate crime or hate speech.
Or hate speech.
Hate speech. You know, you're allowed to hate. Last I knew, you were allowed to hate. You're just not allowed to act on the hate.
Correct.
You're certainly allowed to hate anybody you want.
Well, you know, Debbie Daly made it clear to us tonight that she hates certain people. She hates 1 out of 20.
Yeah. So maybe she should be brought up on charges.
I agree. You're not allowed to hate Capote.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to hate News Guy or the Angry Jew.
Or Goober Joke or whatever.
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkin Face.
What's wrong with you, Debbie Daly?
Yeah, hater. Criminal.
So when I read that this week and I saw that, I go, oh, goddamn, I got to bring that to the show.
Fuck. Ugh. That was not a fun article.
I know, but it's just that whole attitude that they need to censor this. They need to edit that out because it goes against what I think should be the standard or the norm or whatever the case may be.
Maybe I'm wildly wrong with my opinion here. But they, whoever that they is, do not need to censor anything out ever. You need to censor it out of your personal life on every subject. If you don't like what this guy in Duck Dynasty is saying, don't fucking watch it. If enough people have the same ideology as you, no one will watch it. It will be canceled.
Correct. And that was the other point I was going to make. She was saying that A&E, which is the network that carries and produces the show,
sure,
should take some accountability.
No.
Well, if this Duck Dynasty was not making A&E the money that they need to produce this show and sell advertising,
right,
as you just said, that show would go away.
Right.
But
where's her accountability of still watching it? Why isn't she accountable to not watch something that offends her?
Well, see, again, this goes back to that attitude that you should not be allowed to say it because other people will hear you and they might agree with you.
Yeah.
And if they do that, we can't stomp out this idea that I don't like.
Yeah, you're right. And when did you become the fucking overlord?
Well, but that's the attitude, though, is we'll tell you what to think. We'll tell you how to act. We'll tell you when to, take a shit.
And when did so much of this world become such pussies that they don't ask the question, when did you become more important than me?
Well, because there becomes a attitude that I'm much more advanced than you, so we'll tell you when to do things.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Not hearing it. And I will back off my previous statement. I will say anybody that adopts this thing, I'll pull back my liberal women. They still are cunts, but I will expand from liberal women to anybody that thinks that any speech should ever be censored.
Right. I agree.
Is a fucking idiot.
I agree.
All speech, the speech you should want to protect the most is the speech that you can stand the least.
True.
Because the worse it is, the better it is for everybody that they can have their own true opinion. Believe me, I watch a lot of this stuff that's going on now with like the Black Panthers and the how it's so blatant now, the Farrakhan movement and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
How they're blatantly going out there saying that white people should be killed. And I don't know if you've seen a bunch of this or not, but it's going on all over the place, where they're literally making speeches saying white people should be killed. And you know what? I'm 100% for that speech. I'm 100% for it.
You don't agree with it?
I don't agree with it at all. But they should absolutely have the right to say it. And, and me being me, a white guy, I live my life smart enough to be ready for that if something should jump off.
Right.
And I might live through it and I might not live through it. But, I don't pretend that the world is this fucking safe, cradle of niceness. So, that's how it's got to be. You should want to have the ability to speak out. You should have the ability to speak out. I will absolutely speak out against fucking somebody that's saying any race of people should be fucking killed because they were born with a fucking skin tone.
Right.
That's fucking stupid. And I'll say it point blank. These guys that are saying this shit, all white people should be murdered, they're fucking idiots. Is what it is. And the same with anybody saying all black people should be killed. They're fucking idiots too.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say, you can't say anything. Because everybody always says it with their one little stupid issue and they never look at the big point. And the big point is eventually when you start giving away freedoms and rights and whatever, you got to look at who's going to control that.
Right.
And everybody, let's look at this political fucking nightmare that we're in right now. It's going to end up being what? Trump and Hillary? Is that correct?
Probably.
Are you right now, not necessarily you, but just people in general, are you willing to say Hillary Clinton is now the overseer of what can and cannot be said? Or are you willing to let Donald Trump be the overseer of what can and cannot be said? Unless you can say, yes, I'm willing to let my president dictate what people can say, then you're not truly pro censorship as you're advocating for, as this lady was.
Right.
And I bet you if you asked her point blank, are you willing to let the government tell you what you can and can't write in your article? She would say no fucking way.
Of course not.
So she's hypocritical just by writing this article.
I agree. I completely agree.
Fucking idiots.
Well, again, this goes back to the fear or the concern that if somebody like this Robertson guy is quote unquote allowed to voice his thoughts or opinion, other people might adopt his opinion or agree with him.
Right.
And we have to stop them.
Okay. Well, how about this? Most people probably refer to me as conservative or conservative-ish, don't you think?
Sure, absolutely.
I openly admitted I've never fucking seen this guy's show. Not 1 second.
Neither have I. I know who they are, but I've never watched a show.
Okay. So how is it that two guys that are acknowledged conservatives haven't seen these words of this obvious conservative icon as this lady is sort of portraying him to be? How did that happen? We both have Netflix. I'll bet it's on Netflix.
I guarantee you it is.
So why is it that we didn't watch it?
Because we didn't choose to watch it.
Because we fucking censor what we want to watch. We don't put into our fucking face shit that we don't want to watch. We self-censor. We don't wait for fucking Netflix to take it off so that we don't have to stumble across it somehow. We're not begging fucking, what is she? What does she fucking write for? The Vagina Times or something?
Yes, she knows.
Yeah, she knows. We don't agree with her article. Should we write a letter to the editor saying, hey, you got to get rid of this fucking
Yeah, you got to keep her from writing any more articles like that.
Yeah, she shouldn't be allowed to bash the Duck Dynasty guys like that.
Yeah.
Is that what we're supposed to do now?
No.
Because we don't agree with her article?
No, all we do is we get on a platform such as the Classic Metal Show and just bash her and call her a liberal cunt.
That's right. Well, she is.
Yeah.
She definitely is.